All right, backseaters, let's give it a minute here. Give some people some time to join.
1521. Bud, clear me. I got a swap vehicle. Knock me off, please.
Just finishing getting ready here.
249. Bud, clear me.
All right. Hello, backseater. Sorry, I had a bunch of things I had to finish up here before I could go live, and I didn't have it all done like I should have. I'm gonna try to refocus the camera here because it looks like I'm getting too much of the sky and not enough of the hood. There we go.
Thank you.
So, welcome backseaters. Thanks for tuning in for Monday, January 8th, 2024. I just got done filling out a bunch of paperwork and putting the wrong year on it and then having to go back. But that's all right. At least I got it done. So, welcome to Live on Patrol. You're with Under Sheriff Mike Martin in RAMSEY County in the state of Minnesota. We're in the capital city of St. Paul, and we are out patrolling. We're going to go on to the east side of St. Paul because other members of the CAT team are out here. Though, for those of you who aren't familiar with the term CAT team, that's our carjacking and auto theft team, and it's one of the units that I oversee in my division, and they have been busy.
Sounds like medics are going to be transporting us for a feeder. Who is the person I'm supposed to be checking on at the time?
They have been busy all morning. I am
You're digitized.
currently, I'm leaving the LEC and going over to the east side in St. Paul. We monitor the three St. Paul police channels, 1, 2, and 3, which are west, central, and east. And then we're monitoring the 3 RAMSEY County channels, west, central, and east, as well as several metro-wide channels and statewide channels that allow us to...
The one who was walking south, looks like they're headed right to that Rose building.
So for those of you who hear, that's Pat Scott in the background. They were out earlier with a stolen car, but it sounds like the individual left the car. And so they are now recovering the car and just trying to figure out who the individuals were that were in it, which we will eventually do. So we monitor all of those channels, and if there's something exciting going on, I will be quiet and let you listen, maybe give you a little intro to what it is, and then I'll turn up the radio and let you listen. And,
the one made it into 1500 rows before I could see his face. Got the feeling he was older, but I'm not sure. I'll try to get clarification.
.2007, just so you guys know, I'm going to be live, so if there's something you want me to mute or turn off this channel for, let me know. So because we have our own channel where we oftentimes will talk about private stuff or talk about juveniles or use names, I just let the other people know that I'm now live so that they can let me know if they want me to turn it off or mute while they're doing something, because we don't want to jeopardize any investigation. So we're on Payne Avenue at Phelan right now, going northbound, east side of St. Paul. The we are live on Facebook right now and on YouTube. So if you're watching on either one, please share it with your friends and subscribe to us on YouTube, and that way you'll be notified when we do go live. So I generally will broadcast live on Monday afternoons. The CAT team members will be live on Wednesday afternoons, and Sheriff Fletcher and Detective Pat Scott will be live on Friday nights. Friday nights, a lot of times we're all out working together, and they'll bounce back and forth between cameras. So this last Friday night, Bob and Pat were out. I was out. Nicole was out with her camera on, and Pat and Bob split up, so we had 4 cameras going so that we could switch back and forth. So our goal is to show you what police officers do and sheriff's deputies, how we operate, how we interact with the public, and educate you on number one, what a great job it is, and how much we enjoy doing it, but also how much we enjoy serving the public and locking up bad guys and helping the good folks. So that's what we're out doing right now, and we will see what happens. You never know. Some days it's pretty quiet, and other days it's busy. And this morning it's been kind of busy with different things. There was just an accident on Shepherd Road where 2 cars were racing each other down Shepherd Road, and one was able to make a curve and the other one didn't, and crashed. I think it was around Randolph, and hopefully no one was seriously injured.
That address. They do have a Tom in room 27 or cabin 27.
It just goes to show how dangerous that street racing could be.
Copy, thank you.
So we're eastbound now on Maryland Avenue, heart of the east side, and you will see that we patrol all over in Ramsey County. We have 7 contract cities where we are the primary police. Those cities are in the suburban areas and tend to be a lot quieter. So we will go up there when things are kicking off, but for the most part, we are looking for stolen vehicles in more the core part of the city of St. Paul, in parts of Maplewood, Little Canada, the areas where we see that.
Day 3. Next route 2072 Fry Street. 27-year-old male.
So I saw that earlier today someone posted on Facebook that in about 30 days the sun's going to start setting at 7 o'clock, which will be nice because, as you can see, it's already starting to get dark here, and of course it's cloudy, so that doesn't help, but it makes for a lot shorter days in the winter. This winter has been
958.
a lot more mild than we usually have.
1949 Wilson Avenue.
So if you heard, that was a probation officer calling out. He's out doing home visits on people that are on probation, and primarily they will visit people that are on more what are called intensive conditions of supervision, so that they'll go out and just check, make sure they're home if they're supposed to be, and that they're not intoxicated or high, depending on what their conditions are of release. We got some great probation officers in Ramsey County.
American. Here you go. Go ahead and mute Mike Martin.
5283, squad's arriving.
All right, sorry about that. I
207, can you
was
have
just told to
156
mute
go to
for a little bit because they needed to discuss juvenile name, and so I muted. I can always
whatever it is.
take it out if it comes
up
up.
off Sierra off Rose, that's where the walking out there, because I got a girl, like, must be a. She wanted to climb was out.
There's Sheriff Martin, mute again, please.
Copy. I actually muted. I'm just going to take this off of my scan list. All right.
Kind of guy with those things we had before. Correct?
Gave her, so they're, I don't know where they must have been out walking.
So I gotta take the them off of my scan list, so they're not. You're not gonna hear the CAT team right now because they're working on a group of juveniles, and we don't want to expose their names or have the names of, or what they're talking about out there. So
530, 535.
hopefully now we shouldn't have to mute anymore. So
9271.
9271.
So I was just thinking it's 28 degrees here. It's very cold. Well, not as cold as it could be. So I'm not really complaining. But I'm wondering who out there
Copy, unit 30.
watching this is from the warmest place, where the temperature is the warmest right now. And do me a favor, don't be throwing out Celsius, because I don't know how to compute that. I could probably look it up.
9271.
So convert it into Fahrenheit if you're somewhere in Celsius, please. We are southbound on White Bear Avenue. On the east side of St. Paul. And you are with Under Sheriff Mike Martin. I have the pleasure of taking you in my unmarked Tahoe, Chevy Tahoe. It's unmarked, but it's got all the lights and bells and whistles, and we are on patrol.
535 is going to be a scratch.
Every once in a while, people ask, is this like real police? Yes, we are real police. I've been a police officer now for, well, more than 30 years, 31 years. I worked for a couple years as a community service officer at the airport before that, but then I worked at the Minneapolis Police Department and rose up to the level of being an appointed precinct inspector overseeing the North Side precinct in Minneapolis, and I retired from there and have been at the sheriff's office now for going on 6 years. Sheriff Fletcher asked me to come out of retirement and said that he would let me run the specialized units, or the units that are proactive in the investigations, and I said perfect. That was exactly what I wanted to do. So one of the things I told him was I didn't want to sit behind a computer. I wanted to be out with the troops, and he's good enough to let me do that and be out working with the people that are in the units and teams that I run, including the CAT team, and it definitely makes it a little more fun. And our job as the administration is to make it good for the deputies and the investigators that are out there doing the real work. It's our job to get them the resources they need, to support them, and to back them when they do the right things, and coach them when they screw up. And we're all human, so we all will screw up eventually. And but we want our deputies to know that if they act in good faith and are trying to do the right things and they make a little mistake, we will have their back, and then we'll expect them to not make that mistake again. So we, on top of patrolling 7 contract cities, we also run the jail for Ramsey County. Our jail is built to hold up to 500 people. I think we're around 350 right now for a population.
144.
And most of those are people who are serious offenders. We don't book misdemeanants anymore unless there's some kind of a reason.
1043 Wakefield
or
Avenue.
It's a mandatory booking like a domestic assault. So for the most part, our bookings are for violent crimes, narcotics,
135 clear me, I'll head that way.
and serious property crimes like burglary and felony theft.
Everyone, 35. They're now on the lot. Number 1, green pants, tan coats and knees. Number 2, black pants, black sweater. Both are black females, early 30s. Topic body keep away from the both captain.
So we're on Old Hudson Road on the east side of St. Paul. We're cruising through some neighborhoods where we from time to time see stolen vehicles, and I'm going to let you in on a secret, and hopefully the bad guys aren't listening. I know some of them do. Thank you. Appreciate your willingness to cooperate with my still getting paid and my job security. So if it weren't for bad guys, we wouldn't need good guys. And but a lot of times stolen cars get dumped, and then when it snows, nobody cleans them off. So when we see cars that have snow on them several days after a good snow, that's a good sign, or as the sheriff would say, it's a clue that car, there might be something up with it. Now, it did snow a little bit overnight, so that doesn't really apply today, but
green pants, tan coats and knees.
tomorrow it hasn't snowed anymore, and the car hasn't moved in a couple of days. Sometimes that's a good sign for us that the car might be abandoned. Of course, it could be just a car that's not running, or that's parked in front of the house and they haven't left, but we'll know that. We just run the plate. But it helps us recover cars. It also is a great assistance when there's light snow on the ground, when we have to track people that run from us. If you can follow the footprints.
2272
188, 35, and 188. Clear.
Thank you.
I saw somebody posted that it was like Blue's Clues. I did catch Blue's Clues
Internet 144's number to
a couple times when my kids were little, but I'm assuming that that show's still running.
411.
And they look for clues to solve a mystery. We get, people think those little kid shows don't, and kids games are just for little kids, but I'll tell you what, we play hide and seek all the time with fugitives, and we look for clues like Blue's Clues, and we, what else do we do? Sometimes we it's like Dora the Explorer. We gotta go around and explore to find what we're looking for. But like I said, we love it. We love serving the public and being able to make a difference in the community. So we're going to continue northbound on White Bear here. We're at East 7th Street. We've had, over the weekend, we had several, well, last end of the week and over the weekend, several stolen vehicles that have fled from us, and where we've been able to make apprehensions. And every one of them requires great teamwork, not only from our deputies, but from St. Paul PD. We've had Minneapolis PD in the last few days that we've worked cooperatively with, Maplewood PD, Minnesota State Patrol, the helicopter. I know I'm like a broken record when I talk about the State Patrol helicopter being a game changer, but it really is. It allows us to back off, not have to drive as fast, and turn our lights and siren off, and they will call out where a car's going, and we just head.
Rosedale Mall for stolen plates. Boy, Nora, zebra, yellow, boy, yellow.
And they will tell us where the car is stopping and when they're getting out, and then we can hurry there and apprehend them, which is what happened on a vehicle last week that was involved in a occupied burglary of a home. They went in the house, in the garage, and stole the car out of the garage while the people were home. Then they used that car to break into cars and steal another car in the city of Minneapolis, and we were assisting them in trying to track the vehicle, and we located it, and pursuit ensued, which ended up on the east side of St. Paul, and we were able to apprehend the suspects. I left out Metro Transit PD as well, I think helped in that one, and of course State Patrol, when they have the helicopter up the ground, troopers are also out working with us. So
523.
we're northbound on White Bear at Arlington, heading into the city of Maplewood, which is one of the suburban communities here in Ramsey County. Maplewood has their old police department. I don't know, it's going to be a total guess on my part, but I'm going to guess they have 40, 50 officers, maybe more, that patrol Maplewood. They are a big suburban area. Chief Beardeman is the chief in Maplewood.
Hit it.
334.
37.
334.
1482 Winchell Street, domestic. Wife's daughter's boyfriend refused to leave his cop's house. Yelling in background, Joshua Rempel, Hispanic, 30s, 6 foot, average, wearing sweatshirt, blue jeans. History of incidents.
When we cross Larpenter here, we will be in the city of Maplewood. And many of you from the metro area will know
324 company.
Aldrich Arena, which is coming up on our right, which is the home
Who is taking it for 334?
of sectional playoffs or semifinals for hockey, for high school hockey.
334, I'm trying to miss that.
I think I just got a text. I'm supposed to tell everybody that we got the 5X coat and it's on the way. We got the 5X coat and it's on the way to us. So thank you so much. Had to almost forgot to wave to my friends up here in Maplewood that always wave to me.
1482 Winchell Street, domestic.
The young man Noah, whose bike was stolen, and then the backseaters helped replace it, and we brought the bike to him. One of the more rewarding days of my career, where you can do something like that to help someone out who's in a desperate situation. So, and they always come out and wave as I drive by when I'm live, and I really appreciate that. It reminds me of who we're really working for, is those, so that those kids can play in their neighborhoods safely and families can raise their kids safely. And
You put me out at 958 Central.
really appreciate it. So we're still north on White Bear. We're gonna come up here and cruise around a couple spots by Maplewood Mall where we oftentimes will see stolen cars. Took a right here, we would be over in the city of North St. Paul, another suburb in Ramsey County, but a little bit definitely smaller.
Both parties are in a vehicle at the end of the lot here. I'll have a plate for you in a second.
Chief Phil Babenroth is the chief there. He used to be a commander for us, and just a great guy.
Probation 807.
Probation 807.
Tonight's the college football playoff between Michigan and Washington. And I see somebody posted, "Let's go Michigan." Who? Let us know who you're rooting for tonight.
Investigative stop. Billy Marshall, Chatsworth, Delta Foxtrot, Yankee 212.
I have a friend who played football at Michigan, who's now a Minneapolis sergeant. And I have some friends that are big Michigan fans. And Michigan's a Big Ten team, like the Gophers here, so I'm kind of rooting for Michigan, but I don't really have a dog in the fight. And I'll probably never have a Gopher in the fight for the college football playoff, because the Gophers frequently get in the lesser known bowls, like the Liberty Bowl and the Quick Lane Bowl and the, I forget, there was like a something water bowl one year that we got in. So I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna do a little U-turn here. I want to show you a little bit of history.
Could you reopen my earlier call that was in 1616
our cat team? So people ask me a lot how our cat team got started and what we, why we dedicated those resources specifically to that.
That's 185 Tango. Do you have an occupied code for?
Right down here in the city of Maplewood, we're on a street called Masabi. And back a few years ago, a young group of kids that lived back in here started stealing vehicles and going back and forth between here and the city of Woodbury. And we were eventually able to identify some of those kids and track them here. We got a lot of stolen cars and some arrests out of this little townhouse complex. And then over time, those families moved out. But in the meantime, we created a small team to work together multi-jurisdictionally to solve the problem. And that eventually became the CAT team. The sheriff created the carjacking and auto theft team because about the same time we started to see a dramatic increase in carjackings. And so we created a unit just to go after those crimes and the people who are the most prolific offenders. And we also at the same time created a process for the kids that we identified that were just starting to get involved or who maybe were in a stolen but one time but didn't get weren't the ones who stole it, so that we could do some intervention and prevention work with them. Sorry, I'm stopping to run the plate on a car here.
I don't know. Same number for investigate. Lincoln Mary Zebra 564. Copy the counselor. Hold on.
So this car that's sitting in here covered in snow is not stolen, so that's good to know. But it looked like it had been sitting here for a while and it was in pretty good shape.
807. Would you clear me from 771 Fuller and I'm EOT?
So we learned very quickly that when we started arresting some of these kids, some of them weren't at all bad kids. They were just on the wrong track or hanging around groups of kids that were more prolific auto thieves. And so the sheriff with County Attorney John Choi created and funded by the Minnesota Department of Commerce, created a process where we could do some intervention and prevention with kids that were at risk and hopefully get them back on the right path. And it's been extremely successful. And
Clear 1043 Wakefield.
The reason the department
Probation 807.
Probation 807.
they wanted to partner up on something that would
Would you clear me from 771 for an MEOT?
back us, and they have since increased the amount of funding we get, so that expand the work that we do. And we're now operating with the city of Minneapolis and other agencies to do some of the same work. So I saw somebody posted, I'm sorry your name went off of my, because the comments come in so fast. Come to Milwaukee, we have the Kia Boys. Well, we had the Kia Boys here too. We still probably do, but we started targeting them and doing what we do, and really put a dent in their ability to do the work. But we found that there was some relationship between our Kia Boys and your Kia Boys that were stealing cars and going back and forth. So we have cooperated with the city of Milwaukee and some of the suburbs up there, and but you know, really what it takes is a full-time dedicated unit just working these groups. Now we're to the point where 90% of the time when we arrest someone in a stolen car, we know them. We know them, we know their mom, we know their grandma, we know their dad if dad's around, and we so we can talk to them. We call their mom. It really makes a huge difference. So I just slowly rode by Village Trail, which was another area where we had a lot of issues with stolen cars for a while. But the residents that were real active there have moved out into one of our suburban areas, and we have had, I think, very, very limited contact with them, if any at all. I'm not aware of any. One of the other things we did is we got our laws changed here in Minnesota. Previously, for an officer to put a GPS tracking device on a stolen car, you would have to have the consent of the owner or get a warrant. And obviously we didn't always know if a car was stolen because it hadn't been reported yet, or we couldn't get a hold of the registered owner. So we were able to change the law to allow us to place a GPS device on a stolen car without the owner's consent, as long as the vehicle has been reported stolen and entered into NCIC as a stolen. And that allows us to do a little bit more investigation on who's in the vehicle and make a lot more arrests, especially if we have an organized theft ring, which we recently had one of, where we knew they were stealing a certain type of car and chopping them up for parts and then dumping the cars, and we were able to get an owner to consent to let us put a GPS, and that led to the recovery of a stolen car and some stolen parts, and the identification of the people involved. So I apologize for the squeaky brakes if you can hear them. I swear they're brand new pads and rotors, but they're, for some reason, they keep squeaking. And everything I've been told to do to stop it doesn't work.
So squad the back 1996 Center D Delta East Department 316 a well check. Also welfare check on their daughter after receiving a call from the father of her child. When she was first out. Subject is a Camaro Gibbs, 19-year-old black female, 5'7", medium build, wearing a red wig, 3 nose rings.
4442, I think well.
604.
So we're right by Maplewood Mall in the city of Maplewood. It's the second largest mall in Ramsey County and a very busy place, with the largest being Rosedale Mall. I'm sitting at a light. I just glanced over and I saw someone posted, "What is an undersheriff?" An undersheriff would be similar to a deputy chief in a police department. So you have the sheriff, who is elected and obviously runs the sheriff's office. Underneath him, you have the chief deputy, who for us is Dave Methusalem.
52
And the chief deputy kind of runs the day-to-day operations, is like a chief operating officer for the sheriff's office. And then under him are the undersheriffs that I am one of. And undersheriffs run the divisions within the sheriff's office. So we have an undersheriff who runs the administration, finance, accounting, training, policy and procedure, kind of the internal stuff. We have a undersheriff of patrol, Jeff Ramaker, who oversees our patrol division. So we patrol 7 contract cities, and he's like the police chief for those contract cities. And then those are cities that don't have their own police department. And then he also oversees our water patrol and our school resource officers. We have an undersheriff who oversees the jail, Bill Finney, and he's responsible for all of the jail operations. And I'm going to miss somebody. I'm the undersheriff of regional services, which is investigations,
24, 57 Hazelwood Street North.
Our violent crime enforcement team, which is high-level narcotics and violent offenders. Our apprehension team, which is fugitive apprehension.
Female, 30 to 40 years old.
Our carjacking and auto theft team. And intelligence, as well as the SWAT team and the mobile response team. So I have a lot of units that work underneath my command. We're going to pull over this car here that's definitely speeding.
We can back. You can cancel this one.
Can you change my call to a DOC, please?
I'm going to run his plate quick. Lincoln. A lot of times just by running the plate. Of course, it would have helped if I was on the right page here. It'll tell me if there's any issues with the car or the driver.
New message. New message.
He lives in a nearby suburb.
24.
283 Tango.
Street north on Welfare Shack.
283 Tango.
Homeless female just knocked on the house going down for a place to stay. Appears to be under the influence.
Screaming.
Appears to be
And also, you know, trying to get to the room to call.
White female, 30 to 40 years old. Wearing a blue hoodie.
283 Tango. Copy.
North Impulse 1, start to 2345 Helen Street North, apartment 208. I don't know what this is.
634 Tango. We'll get back. You can pass out of the squad.
768 to be clear.
73 copy.
So the vehicle registered to the young man who's driving. So when I ran his license plate, it told me that he had a valid license, no warrants, no issues, and therefore I just advised him to slow down and be careful. He was apologetic, and so I knew that he understood that what he did was wrong, and that's a state trooper that I just passed, by the way.
5281.
I think that he's
3095.
I didn't read it on the side, but the truck he's driving, those are commercial vehicle inspectors, so they inspect the any commercial vehicles and do enforcement on those. So anyway, that young man was apologetic for speeding and had a valid license, so I just told him to slow down and be careful, which, you know, it's always
5909.
it's always kind of fun to tell someone that they're not getting a ticket, that you just want them to slow down a little bit, because people think we pull over people just to write them tickets, which is not the case. When we pull over people, it's oftentimes just to see what's going on. Is there a reason for them speeding? Or are they just a dangerous driver? Do they, you know, if they understand what they did was wrong and there's no need to write them a ticket and punish them for that, then great. If they don't understand that what they did was wrong and they want to argue and don't agree, well, then we may write them a ticket, and then hopefully eventually, once they go through the process of either paying the ticket or going to court, they'll realize that, hey, I need to slow down. And some people don't ever learn the lesson, and therefore they get tickets and keep offending, and eventually they can't get insurance. Or they get their license suspended because they get too many violations. So our goal is to change behavior, to get people to just be careful.
5185 Tango Squad, code 4.
So we're back south now on White Bear, and it's actually, the radio's relatively quiet except for domestic assault calls, it sounds like, and a few other calls that are not as important as a domestic.
1613.
So for those those of you who maybe just tuned in, we got a little bit of snow last night, just a dusting, enough to make it white, but we've had a really mild year this year with not a lot of snow, and it hasn't been very cold. I think it's supposed to get cold here in a few days, and then we'll be back closer to normal. It's been a frustrating year for ice fisher persons, ice fishermen, women, because there's not thick enough ice to safely ice fish on most lakes. Even up north, they've had some incidents where ice floes have broken away and people have been stranded. So I know a lot of them are hoping we get colder so that some ice develops so they can go out ice fishing. And then, I don't know, snowmobiling and skiing this year. You might have to drive up to northern Wisconsin or the UP of Michigan to get good snow, because we sure aren't getting it here.
Up with this accident to Lower Afton in Winthrop.
I've had people before, and I don't know because I can't really read the comments while I'm driving, but I've had people before ask me why I don't call out on the radio when I'm on a traffic stop. Generally, I would if I saw something that was maybe concerning, or maybe if there were 4 or 5 people in a car and I could see movement in the car. But if it's 1 or 2 people, it looks decent, I'm just going to enter it into my squad computer. It's still the same. Any squad working in this area will see me on the map and can come over. If I have to get on the air, they'll be able to see where I am right away. So I hate to tie up the air for minor traffic stops, but of course you never know what's going to happen on that. So I always have my radio on, my portable radio. We're on White Bear. We're going to turn and go westbound on Maryland and check some other areas here on the east side. Got to have lunch today with the sheriff and Kyle Mestad, the smartest man in the sheriff's office, and with Steve Leiden, one of our directors that oversees the CAT team and Intel, and we went to Tom Reed's, one of our faves, and got to talk to some St. Paul officers in there, or investigators, and Tom wasn't in there, but the Wild are in town tonight playing, so I'm sure he was busy. If you're ever in town, that's one of the places you gotta go because
Medics are responding back to 37 Highway 61.
Just the hockey memorabilia alone there is worth going into Tom Reed's. We should put together like a map of places to go eat and places to visit when you're in Ramsey County, and we could put some of our favorites on there, some landmarks. That'd be kind of fun. And so if people come into town, we've had people come into town and stop in the sheriff's office. That's really hit or miss. If you do that, you can't really guarantee that any of us will be around there, even during the day, because we're off and out. And then they say, hey, we want to go where? How do we get to M&H? We want to go to M&H because Bob and Pat always go there. They want to go to Club Holiday, the holiday store on Penn and Rice. And
5909.
we should have a map that we give them, like a map to the Stars homes, but I don't think any of these would qualify as Stars homes. You might need to be a little more vigilant at some of the places we visit, but the restaurants that we love them because we don't have to be vigilant there, because they have great staff, great food, and they're awesome. Like Tom Reed's or Burger Mo's or the Mavericks, Keys. There's so many great places that we love to go. And if any of you follow me on Facebook, first of all, follow my personal account. There's one that says Mike Martin Community Safety Professional, and I appreciate people following that, but I put that up a long time ago and don't really post on there. But if you follow my personal account, you saw an awesome story about the Clover Inn, which is a dive bar in Vadnais Heights, and Ginger owns that, who used to own the Tin Cups on the north end of St. Paul. And there was a guy who goes to dive bars across the country, and he did a story on the Clover Inn. So we're on westbound Maryland and at Earl.
Squad 207, are you still on channel 1?
If I Tango, you can send me the fast and heavy.
Boy, the radio's quiet. I keep having to check it to make sure it's actually working right. And it is, believe it or not, but we're sure not hearing a lot.
Squad 247.
Go ahead.
You get the message. Call Council 23 yet?
Negative, I will. 306, what was that last transmission?
306, say that again.
306. Where did you have the last squad going?
Are you talking about an east squad?
Never mind, I thought it was East Squad. 202's in service in East.
So we're gonna go south on Arcade here, go down towards the M&H, see what's going on.
247.
I will say I don't know if the sheriff is gonna post the picture or not, but he was coming to lunch and was attacked by a turkey on 7th Street West. The turkey was chasing people around, and if you were listening to me on Friday night, you might have heard me talking about the turkey on West 7th, and the animal control had relocated it. Well, it was back out there today, and the sheriff got a picture of it, the St. Paul squad, and
306. Where did you have the last one?
I'm telling you, that turkey is problematic. It's eventually going to get hit by a car, probably, just because it keeps running around in the street. But
202's in service in East.
our wild turkey, well, I don't know, how wild are they if they walk around on 7th Street? I mean, it's probably going to eat at the Downtowner or Burger Mo's or Tom Reed's or any of those, Mancini's. But our wild turkey population has just gone through the roof. They're everywhere now, all over in the city. And they're almost like geese now. And I'm here to tell you, they have an attitude too. Better not get in their way. Walk down their sidewalk.
Squad's back. 2598 Fireplace. We're requesting police escorts for River Brothers belongings. 1626.
364-379.
379. 364.
306, copy to Bush and Hazel for action.
379, copy. 364, copy.
Wait, copy.
So we're south on Arcade. We're going to cross over Phelan here and the railroad tracks, and
5283.
5185 Tango, I'll take the call from 83, so my call is pending.
we'll drive through the lot here at M&H.
Left. Squad's back. 2598 Fireplace.
Here at the M&H, you can get gas, a car wash, and any kind of snack that you might possibly want, which is why it's one of our favorite places to go. And the staff there are very friendly.
306, a copy to Bush and Hazel for
You're probably wondering, where's that car going? It's going to an accident with injuries. quite a ways away, so we're not gonna go
Squad 106 or 207 on channel
there. Partly because it looks like there might be an injured juvenile involved, and we don't want to
Call operator 22, please.
showing that, but
188. Thank you at 1627.
Our apartment room damage. Caller says someone purposely closed the garage or knocked the vehicle while she was backing out. That person was still on scene. Caller is locked inside her vehicle outside the warehouse. Male involved, a Ronald Sonoma, 32 years old, blue shirt, and jacket.
916 Governor now to
we're gonna go south here on Payne.
Still outside throwing
On our right hand side is the St. Paul East team building.
364.
It's their basically a precinct,
388 is available. Can you come to the call, please?
the east side of St. Paul.
Report.
388.
Yeah.
388, did you copy?
Squad 188 and 180.
381.
388, can you start to push in Hazel?
180. All squads 530 Cleveland Avenue North. Market room damage. Caller says someone purposely closed the garage door onto her vehicle while she was backing out. And that person was still on scene. Caller is locked inside her vehicle.
I can help with the
outside
agency.
the
I
warehouse.
just need a second here to log in.
Male involved, a Ronald Sonoma, 33 years old, wearing a blue shirt and green jacket, no weapons.
So we're going south,
Very copy.
southeast Payne Avenue here, past your Russo's. Great place to get some Italian food.
Yeah, that guy that was
Morales,
fighting
great
the,
Italian
shopping
deli if
cart.
you need
Cancel 516.
your Italian fix. Morales is a great place to go.
Copy, thank you. 1629.
Did you copy?
Really? 281.
388, can you start to push in Hazel?
I still need to log in.
Copy, 381, go ahead.
We're gonna turn on the East 7th here.
381, go ahead.
I can help with the she does have a download for me.
Copy, 388, you missed the screen.
She's approximately 3 months pregnant right now.
If you could stop over to out in the City Hall lobby there, alley there, have an issue with the person in crisis. They're good for it. They just went down after there.
So we're headed into downtown St. Paul. I figured I'd take you over and let's see if that turkey's still prowling out here on West 7th.
Show me on scene with PD to assist with what's going on.
We will go by the Excel Energy Center where the Wild will be playing tonight.
1633. 1-year-old's not strapped in, not dressed for the weather, climbing around in the vehicle.
Hopefully the Wild will pull out a victory tonight. They've been suffering from some
Copy parties in the female.
injuries to some of their
Maybe a
starters.
26-year-old female. She does have abdominal
Things
pain.
haven't been going well. But we also have the new professional women's hockey league now in Minnesota. They I noticed they always refer to them as the Minnesota Professional Women's Hockey League team and not by a name, because they used to be the Whitecaps, I believe, before. And but I read an article saying that they have not decided on nicknames for the teams yet, and they are just using colors to identify the teams. So Minnesota is the purple team, of course, because of Prince, I'm sure. But I don't know how you could possibly beat a women's hockey team from Minnesota. They have just tremendous players. Many of them are former Olympian, former gold medalists. They many of them were national champions at either the Gopher Women's or I believe UMD. But we have some unbelievable women's hockey players here. So, that being said, there is hope that a professional team from Minnesota could win a national championship someday. I don't want to jinx it. I'm just saying, enough of the Vikings, and the Timberwolves, and I like the Wild, don't get me wrong. I like the Twins, and they did do it in 87 and 91, the Twins, but it's been a long time. So,
It's going to be Goop, 130 East 7th Street. At the drop-in center, contest no FP and Hermione Anderson.
So why it looks like in Oakland County issued a cop for the party was at cabin 61.
7th Street side near the drop-in center.
Roughly 60
Black female, 22, 5'5" and heavy, red and white jacket.
So you might have heard, yes, I forgot the Lynx. The Lynx were national champions. I'm sorry, I missed the Lynx when Lindsay Whalen was playing there, Simone Augustus. The Lynx definitely were dominant for a while. I don't know, that seems to have waned a little bit, but forgive me for forgetting the Lynx. Someone posters. Here's the deal. I'm not a huge Vikings fan. I'll root for the Vikings because they're the hometown team if they're up, but I'm not a rabid fan, and I really do enjoy watching the Packers. If the Vikings aren't playing, I will root for the Packers. It looks like Jordan Love is the future there. But
being verbally aggressive towards staff. It's going to be a
if it weren't for the fact that the Packers fans can just be so annoying, but anyway, some very good friends of mine are Packer fans, so I gotta support the Packers when the Vikings are out of it.
36-4, you can cancel 381.
381, you can disregard.
381, copy.
So we're on West 7th. We're right by Casetas, if you know where that is, in the truck park. All you 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds know where the truck park is. And we're looking for a suspicious turkey lurking out here. And so far, maybe they relocated him again.
Squad 374.
Go ahead. Where you at?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the turkey
Maybe
here where it
the office.
normally hangs out, but
Single bird.
there he is. Right there's the turkey. He's in the street. Oh, shoot, he's staging a protest, blocking traffic. Hopefully you can see him right there. Oh, boy. I'm telling you, this guy's... Actually, it's a gal. Is problematic. Huh? If you're gonna march in the street, you should have a sign saying something like "Eat more chicken" or "Eat hamburgers." Now I can't go because I can't see if it's underneath my car.
I'm just going to stay at the north exit just in case they bolt. Copy.
I don't want to run him over, or her over, I should say. I'm hoping she's gone. But there you go. The turkey is still causing problems on West 7th in St. Paul. They sure get cocky after November, don't they? Well, I'm glad you got to see the turkey in action, being a pain in the booty. Usually you don't see them by themselves, but there they are. There it is, I should say.
My credit card. You have a photo. You want to send that out? Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh, the turkey! See, the turkey's blocking traffic over there in the right lane, going westbound. So, I just think it's just begging. It's just taunting the drivers.
180.
180. Copy that.
188 is a partner car now, so they said they will take care of this CDP call. I will take that APD.
There's quite a good walk on and Ross for a custody issue.
Well, if the turkey's on 7th Street and we're gonna name it, we gotta give it a decent name. I don't know. It's not a Tom turkey.
I'll take the accident, and 188 will take the CDP.
How about, I don't know, send in your suggestions and no...
285 Tango.
The Wild fans are out now, coming down to get their pregame meals and drinks, and they got to be hydrated for the game so they can yell really loud. Right up there on the right-hand side is the XL Energy Center, where the Minnesota Wild play.
334.
188 is a partner car now, so they said they will take care of the CDP call.
I'm gonna have to report back
337.
because I'm not gonna be able to see all the good
347.
names, but
347.
347.
347.
354.
Negative.
355.
it is kind of a Karen turkey
355.
because it just
358.
keeps coming back and being
358.
annoying.
393. Anyone else for ELT?
We'll see.
180, I'll take the accident, and 188 will take the CDP.
3473.
So I once went to a Prince concert in the Xcel Energy Center. Tremendous concert. My wife wanted to go. I really didn't want to go, but then I was glad I did. It was, I have no idea what album or tour it was, but it was really good. What a talented gentleman.
45.
334.
47.
234.
335. 337.
So I'm pretty sure we should get
248.
not only a name for the turkey, but probably need to get a booking photo to show the potential victims of the turkey
And
who've
another
been
car.
held hostage.
355.
355. Anyone else?
358.
358.
393. Anyone else for ELT?
2.
I still think if it's going to block traffic, it should get a sign that, you know, what's the point if you're not, you know, advocating for some cause?
550.
157.
570.
And 178.
178.
Anyone else on channel 1 for squads? 1700, 230. 230. 245. 247. Squad 247.
691.
248. 691.
Paula.
Can
49.
I
That's
get
not
a
a
flight
good
to my
turkey
location?
name.
The cop would like to talk to an officer.
And 251. 251. Anyone else for the barn? 235. Copy G35, anyone else? 234. Copy G34. 522. 522.
Someone said butterball, but that one was not fat enough
Yeah,
to
just
be a
let you know there,
butterball
the
turkey.
checkout line.
I think the butterball turkeys are big and fat, and
155.
they stick the little thermometer in the side of them.
Flight line 13.
157.
57.
Copy.
And
Let's go in.
178. Anyone else on channel 1?
Yeah, we can make contact if they don't get here in time.
Oh,
Good night, 1647.
well, I like jive turkey. That's a good one. Diva turkey. Ooh, it was kind of a diva. Walking around, doesn't care what anyone else thinks.
691.
Standing in the middle of the road.
Can I get a squad to my location? The cop would like to talk to an officer.
I don't understand why it would stand in the middle of the road.
26 copies. 905 Drive. This is DEO at 1646.
It's like one of these pylons out here, one of these orange barrels. Only not quite as visible.
St. Clair, Bravo, November, Cedar, 264.
175, 8 Mill, St. Clair, 1647.
Heart suspicious, color from female young and another small child nearby.
Well, I appreciate everyone joining me for this not too eventful but yet fun, I hope, ride around St. Paul and Maplewood. And hopefully you will join us on Wednesday afternoon, join the CAT team. And they generally are working on specific stolen vehicles and have a lot of tools for finding those, so they get a lot of action. We didn't get a lot of action today, but I have the pleasure of going to watch my daughter play basketball and with my lovely wife tonight, so I have to cut us off. So thanks again for watching us.
175, 168, you're
Please join us Wednesday afternoon and again on Friday night, and I guarantee you will learn more. And go on the one of the Live on Patrol pages, whichever one you go to, Bob's Backseat or Live on Patrol, and let us know what you think we should name the turkey. I'll go back and look at the comments that I could see. So thanks a lot. Have a
We're here to keep people safe.
Keeping
Police,
our own self safe.
you want to get out?
Y'all want to see some pussy?
That's a good flavor, good aroma. Good aroma.
You want to see some white pussy?
That's not nice.
Pink pussy?
Goodness gracious. My car's on fire.
It smells interesting out here.
Do that dick still get on hard?
Fuck Alex, fuck Pat, and nigga fuck Bob.
Get an erection. She was grabbing for Pat's crotch.
She was reaching.
She was reaching for Pat's crotch.
Fuck Alex, fuck Pat, and nigga fuck Bob.